Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to the latest episode of the Catenaccio Podcast, Serie A show here live on Twitch from the Radio Rossonera channel, who have been hosting us. I am your host, as always, Alessandro Doriani, and I've got this special team with me today, and we're going to be talking about Serie A Matchday 25 with my here friends. And I know we know currently that the Inter Milan game is going on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've got it right on next to me. And wow, it nearly scored right now. By the way, okay, but let's get to the introductions. Here with me today we have, first off, my good friend Jonathan Kutsakontovitz, also known as our resident Laziale fan. What's up, Jonathan?
Hey guys, luckily our game got postponed, so we couldn't lose this week. So, well, until next week when Juve humiliates us.
And then next up, we have Luca Hofmeister, who I know just saw Inter Milan scoring a goal, so we're now all depressed. But hey, Luca, what's up?
I thought that didn't go in. Well, yeah, now I'm depressed. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for watching, and well, hopefully the game doesn't end like this.
Yep, hopefully not. And then last but not least, our resident Juventus fan, Riccardo Sampietro. What's up, man?
Good evening, guys. Yeah, also I'm depressed, just Inter scoring, but let's just go on with our episode and let's have a good one.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything, by the way. The fifth member of our podcast, Emiliano Colangelo, our resident Inter Milan fan, is in the chat writing right now. What a coward. Come on to a stream if you have a buzz. He's gonna join us in a bit, by the way. He's saying hello. He's gonna join us in a bit. So before we get on with the podcast, as always, I have to do some housekeeping, and I'd like to remind you guys that you can subscribe with your Prime account or you can donate. If you subscribe your Prime account, it's completely free, so just do it. It will help us out a lot. And I've got some really big news for you guys. If you're a big fan of Serie A, you must know this name, but we're gonna have on the 22nd of March, drumroll please, as a guest, David Amoyal, one of the most famous sports journalists in America who talks about Serie A, with over 100,000 followers on Twitter. And on Monday 15th, after Milan Napoli, we're going to have one of the boys from a Milan weekly podcast. So let's move on with our show for today. So what do we have first up? So we have prepared the episode in a bit of a more different way, and I think we'll like this. But let's get through the results for this match day. This has been a quite good match day. As always, to be fair, Serie A surprised us this year. But today's match day is a bit more interesting because it was in the middle of a week and it could have said a lot of things. So first of all, Cagliari scoring one goal against Bologna and winning with good old Semplici. The manager comes in and he's got already 2 straight wins in this relegation battle. And then we have Juventus Spezia 3-0 with good old Sampi. How would you like to present this game for us? I'd like this, if I can, just a little summary that Juventus won 3-0 against Spezia. We created these little slides for you today, with just a little preview of what's to come. And the first slide is talking about Juve, and they're lacking their killer instinct. And we're going to focus mainly on the first 60 minutes. So, Sampi, what's up? What's up with you? What do you want to tell us?
Yeah, I'd like to say it seems a bit strange that we show this after Juve wins 3-0, but the point Enrique will make still, of course, stands. And now.
Yeah, actually, I had this idea after last week, after Verona's game, but I thought it was also relevant for this week. In fact, I wrote focus the first 60 minutes because obviously you see a 3-0, you wouldn't complain. But yeah, the first 60 minutes, it was another case in which I saw Juve lacking, as the title say, that killer instinct that, we always had in the past years. And Spezia was being it was strange because we were kind of waiting and letting Spezia play, and you wouldn't expect that, especially when you're playing at home at the Juventus Stadium. But yeah, so my focus was on the first 60 minutes, and is Juve lacking their killer instinct? Below, you can see I've done a little table of the results in which I believe this was more clear, and that we didn't end up with the win or with a result that was useful for the table. And you see Crotone away, Hellas both away, and last week, as I was mentioning before, another Benevento away, 1-1. Then obviously the Fiorentina defeat that was a major one we couldn't expect. that game, it's always Juve
It was very
Fiorentina.
conditioned by the red card, though. It was very conditioned by the red card.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if
And then I've
Cuadrado
also
doesn't get sent off.
Wait a minute. We just got our first. Sorry if I interrupt you. We got to thank Vipacina for subscribing with Prime. What an absolute legend. He subscribed with Prime. That's some good money in the bank.
Thank
We can
you.
close this
Thank
off.
you.
No. Sorry, Sampi, I just want to ask you one little thing, though, because we were talking about the games there. Have you noticed something as well? I think it's not a case that we put that player right there in the little slide. How much is Juve missing that player, especially in these type of games where I remember in the last few years he used to resolve them? Tell us more about it.
Yeah, I'll just finish off because actually I've added Lazio and Napoli, which are not, let's say they're still big matches. But the fun thing is that you mentioned this guy here, Dybala, and in the Lazio I wrote 1-1 with the 95th. And if we remember, Dybala lost that ball with that. Then Johnny will remember quite well. Unfortunately,
when Correa dribbled 3 Juve players like dribbling like training cones, bro.
Yeah.
And then Caicedo, Panther Instinct. What a goal!
Panther Instinct. Yeah,
and there, it was Dybala that didn't, let's say, he tried to play the ball when it was nearly the end. But, and against Napoli, I also added Napoli because it was a match, we discussed it in, I think we were on Spreaker at the time, that it could have ended both ways, but Napoli with all the injuries and that. But still, your point, you asked me about Dybala. And Dybala, he was missing in matches like the one at Napoli. And we can also argue, going back to the Spezia one, for the first 60 minutes, we were playing with Kulusevski and McKennie. And then at the 60th minute, Pirlo managed to sub in, obviously, Morata and Bernardeschi. And they immediately had an impact on the match. Basically, Morata scored with his first touch on an assist from Bernardeschi. And,
which
I was
like
thinking...
a joke. It sounds like one of those jokes.
Yeah, Morata, actually, he's been one of the best finishers for Juve this year. After Ronaldo, probably best finisher.
Yeah. And I was also thinking, what if, Dybala could have started that match playing with Ronaldo instead of Kulusevski? And, he's a type of player that can have a different style of play than Kulusevski. And so probably the title about the killer instinct is also a consequence of the numerous absences like Dybala, because I think if he started against Spezia, we would have been able to play a bit better, dominate the game, and potentially score before.
By the way, Inter Milan has just scored another. We got it spoiled by Vapor, so it's now 2-0.
Yeah.
So we're going to be updating the results.
I think we can say that Inter's won the league now, right?
The league. Okay, congratulations. We can close this. All right, sorry. Ricky, I wanted to ask you something as well about Juve. Is it something about, I've noticed this, and I think we mentioned it a couple of times again in our podcast, how, I don't know why, but it just always seems like, at least lately, they've been clinging on to like performances by individuals. Like they haven't been playing as a team under Pirlo, but more, they've been doing a bit of a game, which hasn't been as clinical. That killer instinct we were talking about, Juve, are you going there and you're going to beat the team no matter what? But more, it looks like more like they're relying on the Ronaldos, the Moratas, and what used to be the Dybalas to just resolve a game. What do you guys think, Luca? I know you're a big fan of Dybala. Have you seen something in Juve really missing this year? Because we're as Milan fans, especially, we're scared kind of that the only guys, at least it looks like the only guys who could beat Inter for the title could be us, and seeing Juve do so badly really puts a lot of pressure on us as well. What do you think?
Well, I don't know what the exact saying is. I think I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because it's either Inter winning and they have one more Scudetto than us, or it's Juve winning and it's 10 years of Juve dominance. So either way, I say it's total depression for us. When it comes to Juve's killer instinct, actually looking at some stats, if you look at expected goals, Atalanta is first by far in Serie A, then Napoli, and then Juve. So Juve is actually creating a lot of chances. So due to that, you have to say that then the issue is finishing the chances. Ronaldo definitely isn't having any issues with that. So now I think the issue comes in with that who isn't providing any goals. And yeah, Morata has, I don't know, probably 5-6 goals. Kulusevski's had a few. Chiesa has a good amount of goals. But as Ricky said, as you said, I think they are really missing that Dybala, who in a tough game he just turns around from outside the box and scores a wonderful goal.
Yeah. And also, have you guys
Talking-
what's up? Go for it.
No, please go on. Finish your point.
I just wanted to talk about how, again, we were talking about first 60 minutes. Like, if it wasn't Spezia, do you think that game would have gone this way? Because if it wasn't Spezia, I think the amount of attacking chances Spezia had, if it was any other...
Well, if it wasn't
decent
Spezia, but
people-
who would... Another relegation
I
team,
don't
then...
I don't know. I just think that Spezia had so many chances that if they were a team which had a bit more courage, I saw a lot of altruism in front of goal. If they had more of that killer instinct again,
Yeah.
I think they could,
I don't know.
they
I
could have
think
been at least 1-0 up in the first 20 minutes. No?
Yeah, still the way a game is prepared also on Juve's side depends on the opponent. So you can't really, apply Juve's performance to another potential game because you would have faced the match in a different way.
If I can answer to that with an example, I remember the Juve Torino, that in that case we were 1-0 down. That Nkuru scored on a corner was quite a confusion of a situation, but he scored there and we were losing 1-0, and then we managed to win 2-1. Both I think McKennie was subbed in, and that he scored the 2-1, and then Bonucci before. And in that case, it was, also here, like we were talking about the killer instinct and how we are missing this year people as players like Dybala, but I think that as we've seen with the Spezia game and with the Torino, that we were losing 1-0 and then it went well for us. Juve, even if we are struggling more this year, also for the injuries and everything, we still, in some games, managed to make those subs that we have still quality players on the bench that manage to turn around the game. But still, you shouldn't arrive to that point, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a bit too much.
Wait,
it's something that Juve has always
we have
had.
a comment here. We have a comment here from Dodo Rave who says, certo che se parlate male della Juve che ha vinto 3-0, which means, if you guys are talking about Juve winning 3-0 in a negative way, what's going on. But I
don't think we're talking badly about Juve.
Yeah.
I think
probably
because of the game, I mean.
Yeah, I think
probably
Dodo Rave just...
Probably Dodo Rave just joined the live.
No, we explained it's about also compared to how Juve was playing last year, been playing in the recent years, right? If you just take a look at the results that Ricky has put up here, there is a difference in the way Juve closes matches. In the past, I think that Juve would have had a game like this locked down after the first 30 minutes, and I'm sure Ricky can agree with me, right?
Yeah,
and also, guys, I don't know if you watch the games, also the people that are watching us, but like for the first 60 minutes, like
sounds like a dig. I don't know if you guys watch the games.
No, but honestly, for the first 60 minutes, you couldn't tell that we were absolutely dominating and deserved to be 1-0 up.
Yeah, I don't think you were dominating in the first 60 minutes. I think
then obviously the subs, and then Ronaldo scoring at the last minute, and the end we see 3-0. But we have to analyze also the match as a whole. But and
that's why
I will say one last thing.
That's why I was mentioning the Spezia thing. Like, if it wasn't Spezia, I don't think we would have seen that. Yeah, what's up, Ricky?
About injuries, just like 30 minutes ago, my phone rings and it says Bentancur positive to COVID-19.
It's Agnelli.
And he gives Ricky his information directly.
Yeah.
But another player that will be out. So
what's the midfield against Lazio?
Pirlo.
Pirlo and Fagioli. And we have a big Fagioli fan in the chat as well, Nicholas Beans. Yeah.
All right.
So
should we move on?
We'll see.
No, seriously, it'll be McKennie and Rabiot, right? Has to be.
Yeah, I guess.
Ramsey's gonna pop off.
Maybe.
Ramsey.
Maybe Arthur can
come back in time.
I've read something that his injury looks like he doesn't need to get an operation, and so, but it's not so sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very important for Juve as well, for Champions League and stuff, if Arthur's fine.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, should we move on to the next game? So we saw then Hellas Verona absolutely thrashing Benevento 3-0. Not much to be said about this game.
I don't think we expected it though, right? If we just quickly say Benevento at home, they're usually a bit better, but
well, we tied, as we just saw. They tied against Juve, and they tied against Roma, and against
Yeah.
us they didn't have that bad of a game. But
Yeah.
what's up?
No, last 5 matches, Benevento are in a, let's say, mini crisis. They're not
That's
performing
why
how they used to.
when we'll talk about the table, we'll see how actually we were talking a bit back about how Benevento were like, oh, they're gonna save themselves for sure, but now Verona's looking a bit shakier. That bridge we're on. So
Yeah, I think with those teams that just got promoted, you have to wait a bit before making judgment because also the longevity of the team usually isn't up to the task.
There's always like one team that starts really well, but maybe falls off later, and then there's one that does the opposite, maybe starts off really badly but does better. Okay, so then we'll move on to the next game, Sassuolo Napoli. This was a big one for many reasons. Wait, is it? Yeah, we'll go to Sassuolo Napoli. So this one was a big one for many reasons. First of all, it was a game where I honestly looked at my brother at a certain point of the game, and I didn't know who was throwing the game away more. Was it Sassuolo because they were winning, and then they got run over by Napoli, or was it Napoli in the end where they gave away such a stupid penalty and literally the last breath of the game? Literally the last breath of the game.
Manolas.
That was so dumb. And then to stir, to put some more spice into the mix, did you guys know what Insigne did when he went off the pitch?
Started cussing the team, right?
Yep, he came off into the tunnel and he was turned around and he started cussing his team, saying, "Oh, what a shit team we are," something like that. Which already Insigne is a bit of a fiery. He's a bit of a fiery. Yeah. Oh, by the way, sorry. The president of the Italian Republic is the prime minister of Italy.
We're honored to have you, Mr. Draghi.
Yeah, but sorry, I was saying, Napoli. You just threw it away, and then Insigne is already a bit of a fiery character. So we have a question already here from Emiliano Colangelo, who should be on the podcast in a bit. But he says, "Do you still think Manolas is a top defender?" So we're going to be talking more about this with some of our guests. But I'd like to ask you guys, just quick fire round. What do you guys think? Is Manolas still the same Manolas he used to be at Roma, where he was considered one of the best? Johnny, yes or no?
Already last year, I think he got a little worse. I think lots of his defenders really depend on pace. They often fall off a lot quicker, especially when they don't have really good feet, which Manolas doesn't have.
Ben, Luca, what you think?
I don't think Manolas was ever a top defender at Napoli. I think he was at Roma the moment he went to Napoli. I expected Koulibaly and Manolas together to be very, very good. Instead, I don't think it's ever really worked out.
Wait, sorry. And then, I'll just answer Mario Draghi for a second. Hi Mario, ciao Mario. This is the Catenaccio Podcast. Questo è il Catenaccio Podcast Serie A Show, tutto in inglese dopo le partite di Serie A su Radio Rossonera. Yeah. So then, last but not least, Ricky, what do you think? Is he still a top defender? Yes or no?
Yeah, I agree with what Johnny said. That it's strange because he went away from Roma and he joined Koulibaly in Napoli. So potentially they could be the best duo in the Serie A as defenders. But I think he got a bit worse than the player he was at Roma. So yeah.
Yeah, I remember you all remember that goal against Barcelona.
One thing I wanted to look at, which I think is really interesting, is a comparison between Ancelotti and Gatuzzo's times at Napoli. Because if you look at it, they have a very similar amount of games played and net spends. So basically, kind of at this point in time, spent the same amount of money and played a very similar amount of games. So what you see is Gattuso actually won more games, has a higher win rate than Ancelotti. However, Ancelotti has a much better goal difference. And in fact, if you look at the goals scored and goals conceded per game, Ancelotti is a lot better on average. Then for accolades, however, Ancelotti in his only completed season got second. Well, Gattuso got 7th last year. However, when he came, the team was 8th, so improvement by 1 point. Well, 1 place on the table. And he did win Coppa Italia. And they're still on track to get top 4 if they beat Juve.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they're on. Maybe, well, actually, mathematically, they probably are on track.
I think mathematically they are, but if you were looking at it in reality, they're looking very shaky. And Napoli.
I think.
What's up?
Yeah. No, I think a game like this, if we go back to the actual game this week, it's a game that can really, really boost your morale if you win that. Insigne, your captain, he scores at the last minute. You take the 3 points home on a pitch like Sassuolo's, which is hard to win.
Yeah.
And that really gives the team a boost. Instead, you get the complete opposite, where you lost points at the 94th minute, literally last kick of the game. And that, I think, is very demoralizing for the team. So, it's just one of those things that just a matter of seconds really could have changed the way Napoli's season is going to end. I hope it's not that dramatic, but
So in a number of ways, we kind of see how in the end, a lot of people be like, "Oh, Gattuso is not that good of a manager, but not that good of a manager." But if you compare it to a person before, is it he's not like that bad of a manager, but it's not really an upgrade, is it?
He needs to get Champions League. If he doesn't get Champions League at the end of the day, no matter
he's
what his
out.
win rate is, it's a failure.
Yeah, he's gonna be out. Also, he did spend. I think Ancelotti spent more of an equal way to get on an X number of players, whilst Gattuso spent a lot of money.
Everything on Osimhen.
Yeah, on Osimhen.
Yeah, true, but also
unfortunate.
Unlucky. He's quite unlucky. I think Osimhen it's too early to judge him because he has pretty high price tag, but he has also been out for a while, and he's been really unlucky. But he's been showing some good potential when he's been on the pitch.
They spent a lot, I think, in Ancelotti's first season. They spent a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, should we then move
second.
on to the next games we were going to talk about were straight after Sassuolo Napoli is going to be at Atalanta Crotone 5-1. So we were actually talking about this in private, guys, about Atalanta. Atalanta is a bit of a weird one because it's like, I don't know, like I don't think people realize how much of a title threat they could be, because whenever everyone talks about the title, it's nowadays, let's say in this moment, Milan.
By the way, Parma scored.
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, didn't even realize.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Okay, sorry for interrupting you.
I thought you were saying the 2-0, and I was like,
oh no, sorry, I didn't even notice the 2-1.
No way. By the way, by 10 seconds, Lautaro is coming on. So in my fantasy football, I'm gonna have to not play with Sanchez, but I'm playing with Lautaro. So that's unlucky. Anyway, as I was saying, Atalanta, not many people consider them for the league title because people always talk about Milan, people talk about Inter, people talk about Juve. Atalanta are kind of up there. They have some incredible stats. So they're only 7 points. They are 7 points off the table. And tonight, it could get to 10, I think, with Inter's win, but we still have to see. We still got 15 minutes a game to go. They are the second top scoring team in the league, and they have 49 points. But it's what it is about Atalanta, which I think is missing from Juve, is that killer instinct. Atalanta, no matter the game they go in, they always go in and they try to give it its best, like their best, straight away. They try to go there and they try to, we would say in Italian, prendere a pallate. They go there, they want to score as many as possible. And they have some, on paper, their players are not that good. Maybe they're not as incredible as Inter or Juve's, but they do get stuff done. And they are a scary team. They came to, for example, to San Siro, and they absolutely made fun of us. By us, I mean AC Milan. So next week is going to be a very decisive game because it is against Inter Milan away on Monday. So that could be interesting. So I think we might postpone the podcast so we'll be able to watch that game fully. We'll talk about that and we'll let you guys know. But Atalanta, what do you guys think? Are they actual title contenders or not, Luca?
If I go to that stat, I was talking to you guys about the expected goals. Atalanta is first, and they're first by far. I think they have something like 2.5 goals expected per game. So their attack is incredible. If they're
and they gave away a key player like Gomez.
Contenders. I didn't expect them to plug that hole that well. Honestly, I had a bit more doubts. That proves who am I to say. Gasperini knows what he's doing. But I don't know if I see them as title contenders now simply because of how good I think Inter is, which I hate to say. And also because of the lead they have, I think Inter's going to give up. But next week, I mean, this weekend, if Atalanta manage to win, then it's a whole other story. Actually, that's going to be a great game. So,
what do you think will mean in either case? So let's say if Inter wins, what does it mean? And if Atalanta wins, what does it mean for the two teams? And what does it mean for the whole thing? Because also remember this: Atalanta, I think, are in the what is it? Is it the Coppa Italia final? They got because they won against Napoli, right? So they are in the Coppa Italia final. They're still in the Champions League technically, so they still got Real Madrid. Whilst on the other hand, Inter Milan doesn't. So let's say they get dropped out of the Champions League, and knowing this team, when they can run, they can really run. What would it mean? Do you think Monday's win?
I remember that Gasperini also was talking before Atalanta Napoli, the return game. He was talking about how he prioritizes home silverware this year compared to the league. So I think, and he said it very clearly, he wants to put his mark on the Atalanta history books, right? Because Atalanta going in Champions League is historical, but there's no better way to actually mark it than with a trophy, right? A trophy, no one can dispute that. That's on paper, it's done.
Yeah.
So I think he's really going to focus on, he's really going to want to win the Coppa Italia, and I think they will. And then the league, if I actually answer your question, if they beat Inter, then it's a bit more interesting, but I still think Inter is taking it home. And if Inter wins, then it's just less interesting, and Inter's taking it home either way.
Do you guys think that they themselves believe they can win the league? Like, because these players, if you look at them, they've never won anything. None of these players have ever won anything in their lives, honestly. I don't think any of them actually have.
I personally think that for Atalanta to win the league, they would need a very lucky season, in the sense that teams like with more experience, also in terms of club history and the trophies they have won, like Inter, Milan, Juve. They need to have
a bit of a Leicester, where they do very well, and at the same time the big teams flop. You mean? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Like
I was thinking about
everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be
a Leicester example. For example, another thing I remember, the year Napoli made something like 90 points or 91 points, and we still managed to win the league when Napoli was managed by Sarri. No, that's just to say how in Napoli, if Napoli makes 91 points, they would win the league probably 9 times out of 10 with 91 points.
Yeah,
and Napoli in that case. But for Atalanta,
any other year they would have won it.
Yeah, and for Atalanta, they need like a Leicester story, so that the big teams don't have an incredible season. Like for example, this year we're seeing with Inter.
Yeah.
Arda, if I can answer Amy's question in the chat real quick.
I was about to ask you to answer that,
Inter has the 4th best expected goals. They have 1.86 per game. Juve has 1.87. Napoli 2.12, surprisingly. And then Atalanta, I overestimated a bit. They have 2.1. And then Milan is 5th with 1.81. I'm not sure how that takes into consideration penalties. But yeah, that's the top 5.
Yeah, by the way, I wanted to answer Nicholas Bean's question. How do you differentiate between blue and black-blue stripes? I don't differentiate. I hope in any case that the meteorite falls on that stadium when both teams play.
Fortunately enough, they're going to play with different jerseys.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, another thing I wanted to say as well, the last thing about Atalanta, because we'll move on, because we're already 30 minutes into the podcast, and we'll be joined in 10 minutes, hopefully, by good-ass... sorry, I was reading Moncast. I was saying good Emiliano, good old Emiliano. Is Atalanta been on a really good run of form? The last game they lost was against Lazio, which was an absolute thrasher of a game. So we'll move on to the next topic. So the next results we're going to look at were Udinese and Genoa Sampdoria. So we'll start off just by saying, by the way, if you guys noticed, Parma Inter is 0-16, just because it's not because we're jinxing it, right? So
that
Genoa
was
Sampdoria,
me.
Yeah, Genoa Sampdoria was a pretty good game, a standard derby where both teams kind of cancelled each other out. Zappacosta with an incredible goal and then a header by Tonelli to tie the game. But the other game we want to talk about was Milan against Udinese, 1-1 draw. And the discussion for this game was, does Milan rely heavily on penalties? Luca, do you want to present this for us?
Yeah, I had to say it pained me to make this slide, as I was the one to put it together. But it's something that we have to discuss, right? Yeah, we have to discuss it. Penalties, we've had 14 games, 36 points, and we haven't actually lost a single game when we've had well, that's Arda's beautiful face right there.
Yeah, sorry. This is what I was meant to put up. Sorry.
We haven't lost a single game when we've had a penalty, and we have 2.57 points per game, which is incredible, right? Without penalties, it's 11 games, 17 points, and 1.55 points per game. I think, first of all, one thing you have to consider is that if you're losing a game in general, it's less likely that you're going to have a penalty, right? In general footballing terms, because if you're attacking less, then there's a smaller chance you're getting a penalty. For example, a game like Atalanta where we completely destroyed, we weren't getting a penalty because we weren't playing.
Also, sorry, can we talk about Emiliano, the little bitch who's in the chat watching Inter Milan go striding for the league, winning 2-1 against Parma.
Rodrigo Becao, he is the best.
He's one of those meme players that only Milan can bring out.
He's the best against us.
Yeah,
the
he's
best
one of
in
those
the league.
meme players. He scored only 2 goals in his Serie A career, and in both of them again being against us. One of them was a winner last year in the opening game for Giampaolo, and this one as well. This one was a good one. It was a good header. It was a bit of a It's a bit of a
Good header. It was a Gigi mistake.
it was I was about to say it was a Donnarumma mistake. I don't want to say it but it was a Donnarumma mistake. But yeah, please go on and talk to us about this game.
Well, if I just talk about the game itself, we did rely on a penalty because we were absolutely shocking. We were terrible, and out of nowhere, Sigurd Larsson, I don't know, decides to play well, whatever the hell that was, and just completely gives us a penalty. So in that case, you have to say, yes, we rely on penalties.
Yeah.
If you look at all the other cases, I think the example is a game like Bologna, right?
Yeah.
Where we win 2-1, 2 penalties, one of them because of a stupid foul in the box, which was a goal-scoring opportunity, and the other because of a stupid handball, which wasn't a goal-scoring opportunity.
Yeah.
If you tell me, did we rely on penalties? I would tell you no. I would tell you I think we were playing very well, and we would have won either way, with or without penalties. Of course, that's just my word against someone else's.
Yeah.
I can't really give a judgment of the whole season. Do we rely on penalties? We've had a lot of penalties. We had 16 penalties. It's a lot. Where would our season be without penalties? It would be bad. But then again, you have to assume that without penalties, we would have scored more goals in open play. And I think that's fair to assume.
You see that stat that apparently with Cassie's conversion rate on penalties, if he took every single penalty, i.e. if Ibra didn't miss all his penalties, if he took all the penalties in Serie A, he'd be like up there as top scorer. Like he'd be like really up there. And apparently,
we've had 16. So if he scored all his penalties, he would be one of the top scorers.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I remember I was talking about this with you, Luca, that the fact is you can even argue the penalties are given to Milan because with VAR and everything, like they are
the penalties. They're all fair. Yeah, they're all fair penalties against Roma.
Apart from one, I think. Yeah. That's the thing as well.
And that was because Roma got an unfair penalty in the first place.
Yeah. It was to compensate. Whenever someone chats to us and says, "Oh, you guys, the penalties and stuff," I'm always like, "Listen, okay, if you go back and see them, there's only one, which I will personally admit, which has been, taken out of nothing. Apart from that, all the penalties were there. I still think it's unacceptable for Milan to tie in that manner because I think against.
Of course, against Udinese, there's no merits to Milan in this game. It was all luck.
Yeah.
I think something though that. Even an Inter fan, a Juve fan, I hope they can admit that and see that even though we've had a lot of penalties in a lot of games, we've had we're playing well, right? For the majority of the season, we play a good style of football. We create a lot of chances, and I don't think that we only have won games or mostly have won games because of penalties. I think there is a lot of merit in the team being where we are. But of course, some of it comes with the fact that we've been very lucky on a lot of occasions where, opposition defenders just gift us penalties.
Have you also noticed how Milan does not shoot from outside the box a lot?
Which I think the issue there is Çalhanoğlu. Çalhanoğlu should be shooting more because with a 4-2-3-1, with Kessie and Benacer, they're a bit too far back usually, right?
Yeah.
The wingers, Saelemaekers, I don't think he can shoot from outside the box. I mean, if he wants to try a few times, I'm not going to tell him not to, but I haven't seen anything from him. Rebic, I don't know. Rebic goes from looking like prime Cristiano Ronaldo to Kevin Lasagna from one game to another. And Ibra, he's always pretty much in the box, so he's not going to shoot from outside.
Yeah. All right. By the way, if you guys want to spam emotes in the chat, which are only for the subs, I think I'll just spam a couple here and there. Okay, we'll move on to the next discussion. We'll be joined by Emi in a bit, but the next games we want to talk about. Well, Parma Inter is a bit of its own world. Lazio Torino is not being played right now, but I'd like to mention something about Lazio Torino to Jonathan. I'll still keep on the Kessie slide because it's nicer to look at. Jonathan. Lazio. So you guys lost against Bologna last week. You lost against Bayern like 2 days before that. And then you didn't get to play this week, and you have Juve next week. Do you think you guys have been basically brewing in this negativity towards the Juve match because you lost, and then you had to wait so you couldn't even get a chance to get back at it? Or do you think all this waiting time gave you enough room to actually reflect and really get into the game for this weekend's game against Juve?
No, I'm very happy that we got rest, because I think the players are tired. They're getting frustrated. If they're tired, you have to play if you keep on losing. And Inzaghi is a guy who actually really researches the opponent's teams. So I'm trusting him to have a good plan against Juve, the players to be playing with vigor and energy because we're playing away from home. Bad run of form. It's a game, if you win this game, it can change your season.
I have a question now for the two people who are directly involved in this game. Sampi and Jonathan, what could this... can we look at this? Dio, why is it in English? Perché in inglese una volta a settimana per i nostri amici inglesi parliamo della Serie A e non solo di Milan. Johnny and Ricky, what does winning this game, what does this game mean for you guys? I'll go to Ricky first because Johnny just spoke. What would winning the game against Lazio mean? Does it even mean that much?
Yeah, I think it's a fundamental game for our growth. We can, as the slide was saying before, the killer instinct. We have to win the game. There's not much to discuss about. If we want to stay there and the fight, as we say, fino alla fine, we have to stay there, and it's a must-win game. Also, a 1-0 or anything like that. The one we played in Rome, that Caicedo scored at 95th. That's unacceptable, and so we have to. Yeah, we just have to absolutely win the game. It's so important.
I like how you threw fino alla fine in there. I think Agnelli sent you here. He pays you to throw some Juve slogans in there. So you're
I'm gonna convert all of the listeners to Radio Rossonero.
As we usually say, fino alla fine, go to Juventus FC store.
Look at me on bio. What about you, Jonathan? What does this game mean for you?
Well, this season, honestly, because if we lose this, we're really screwed in the race for top 4 if we lose this. And what else do we have to play for? Champions League is dead. Coppa Italia, we got eliminated. There's nothing left. I mean, it's only Serie A top 4. We don't want Europa League. We got the taste of Champions League.
You got a whiff of it and you don't want to leave it. Yeah. For sure. All right, then we'll move on to our next game, which is Fiorentina against Roma. There's 2 discussions to be made here. The first one is this. Roma winning 2-1, yeah, for sure. That's all good. It was a bit of a lucky one because they won in the 95th minute with a Diawara goal, which looked offside and then was counted in. But the real question is this. You guys must have seen that in around 67th minute or 60th minute, Veretout got injured, and apparently... Wait, we have a question before that, which is interesting. It is in Italian, but it says, cosa faresti con Leao se continuasse a giocare così? Io lo venderei, mi dispiacerebbe, ma lo venderei. What would you guys do with Leao? So the question is, what would you do with Leao even though he plays like this? Do you keep him and invest in him and his potential, or if he's not giving fruit to his potential right now, it's time to sell him, or another option, send him on loan? I'll personally give my opinion. I think Leao needs to do a Suso where he goes on loan for a bit and shows exactly what he's made of. Then he has to realize that being in Milan is a privilege and it's not given to him, and that he has to really deserve it. But that's my personal opinion. But what do you guys think?
No, I disagree with that. I think Suso was paid. What did we pay Suso? 500,000 euros.
Yeah.
You paid Leao 25 million euros. I don't think Leao is a player that you can send out on loan, just because I don't think he would accept that. And I think that for what we've invested into him, it doesn't make sense to have him playing for someone else for a year. I still believe in Leao. I think he's had overall a great season. He was terrible yesterday, truly terrible, but I think he still had a very good season. He's very promising. I think the best place for him to learn is with Ibra. So I just let him work. He's still young, and yeah.
Ricky and Jonathan. Ricky first. What would you do with one of these guys? Just a really quick answer. What are the 3 options? Yeah. Keep him, sell him, or loan him?
Yeah, probably. I agree with Luca, actually. Leao is quite... I've said it also last time. Altalenante. He's not always performing, but when he performs, he's absolutely... he makes the difference in a way. He's very good. I agree with Luca's analysis that for what you invested in him, you should believe in him, and so you should try and keep him and see how it goes. At least until the end of the season. Sorry,
Jonathan. Jonathan.
I would keep him definitely. No reason not to.
Right, I'll just sum up in Italian for our good friend. Praticamente diciamo che tranne me tutti i nostri amici qua dicono che non essendo un giocatore, a differenza di Suso, che è un giocatore su cui si è speso molto poco, mandarlo via in prestito, venderlo sarebbe molto uno spreco, e diciamo che tenerlo, prima di tutto ha già mostrato anche abbastanza il suo potenziale, ma tenerlo sarebbe più giusto. Io penso personalmente che mandarlo in prestito non gli farebbe male, però okay, let's move on then to what we were actually talking about, which is Roma and Veretout. So you guys saw that Veretout got injured. Apparently it was a serious injury. Well, not that serious, but it was serious enough to keep him out for a month. So I think Veretout is one of those players like that has been really crucial for Roma. I think Roma is one of those teams which is good against the smaller teams, but looks shaky against the big ones, as we discussed last week. And I think one of those players that has always put in a good shift for Roma has been Veretout. We can see his stats here. By the way, Inter has just now officially won, by the way, 2-1 against Parma. So we will update the league table in a minute. But we were talking about, Fiorentina. I'm depressed now. Fiorentina, sorry, we were talking about Veretout. Veretout is also next to Fiorentina, but Veretout has 24 games, 10 goals, of which 5 are penalties and 2 assists. And he's got an incredible pass accuracy of 88.1%. He's got tackles per game, 4.3, and successful dribbles, not the best, but 11 out of 20. I think the most incredible thing about him was 17 million euros he was bought, and his market value is about 30 million now, and he's become a real staple of Serie A and Roma, a real reliable player. So my question is, what you guys expect really quickly, and now Emiliano will be joining us in any minute now. What you guys expect Roma to do without Veretout? Will we feel the difference without Veretout, or Roma can cope? Because they're already shaky, and I think for the win against Fiorentina was already a bit of a fluke. So what you guys think? Johnny, do you want to go first?
I think Veretout is a pretty good player. Definitely.
Very insightful. Very insightful.
No, I don't know what to say about him. He's a good player. He always
my
plays
question
well
for you is, he's so good for Roma, right? Do you think of the next games that we'll see Roma? I'll get up the fixture list right now. Do you think that Roma will feel the difference? Do you think
that's what I mean by what I said at the start. He's a good player. I think he'll definitely feel the difference.
So the next games are Roma Genoa, Roma Shakhtar, Parma Roma, Shakhtar Roma, and Roma Napoli. So in the space of basically a month, you got 3 crucial games in the Europa League matches and against Napoli as well. Do you think these matches will go, do you expect something, your prediction to be very different to what it was before when Veretout was there?
You mean, do I think the games would go differently? I definitely think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think Roma will struggle without him, because I think Diawara will be starting. And he'll probably get injured after 5 games.
Diawara and Pellegrini, right? And I think Pedro's back, so Pedro and Mkhitaryan behind Mayoral.
Yeah, we need to integrate El Shaarawy. I really think we need to get El Shaarawy back on all cylinders and starting.
Luca?
I agree with what Johnny was saying. Veretout is really important.
Probably play with VR. They'll probably play with VR.
I was gonna say it.
I disagree, because they need to tank him in the middle. Veretout is a bit of a
VR was playing when Pedro was injured and Pellegrini would move up and VR would play with Veretout. If Veretout isn't playing, I don't think we've still seen that yet. He's played all the games. So it'll be interesting to say. I think maybe Diawara will slot in, but either way, if it's VR or Diawara, I think they will miss his presence. I don't know what it means for penalties. Who's going to be taking penalties? Maybe Mkhitaryan, right? I think he took one against Crotone.
Against Crotone. He took it away from
Dzeko. He's on the pitch.
I think Dzeko's injured for a bit, right?
Yeah. Last but not no, Johnny tifa Lazio. Johnny è un laziale. Last but not least, Ricky, what do you think? How crucial is Veretout for Roma? What's going to happen?
Yeah, he's an extremely important player for Fonseca and for the way he wants to make Roma play, and he's gonna be missed. Also, we see how
he's gonna be missed by my fantasy football.
I have him in my fantasy football, so it's that I'm also thinking about. But anyway, the point is the players that would probably step in his position maybe, I don't know, we said Diawara, Villar, or maybe Pellegrini that will step back, they will not be able to provide the intensity and the style of play that he's giving to Roma. So it's definitely.
I think the game against Milan really showed what he can give. When a team is really down on the low, he just goes in and he just invents a goal like that. All right, let's move on to what I think is going to be the most interesting one of these slides. It is about Fiorentina. Fiorentina is very probably changing manager next year. I think it was
get Montella off of there. I don't want to see him.
Yeah, and then the interesting thing was these are 4 of the names that have been, let's say, deemed close to Fiorentina by the media. So I'd like to know, you guys. First of all, let me present them. First one is Spalletti, and I'll also present why I personally made this, why I gave these nicknames. So we got Spalletti, Sarri, De Rossi, and Montella. So why did I put these guys? Spalletti is a safe option. Why is he the safe option? Because he's a manager who's known in Serie A. He knows how to act. He's gotten Champions League with Inter a couple of times. He's been at Roma. He knows the plot. He knows what he's doing. He's a safe option because by getting Spalletti, you know that you're going to get at least Europa League, or at least you're going to really fight for Europa League, and you're not going to be where Fiorentina, especially with that team, is right now. What is the problem, though, with Spalletti? I think the best guy who said it was Emiliano last time. He said that Spalletti has a higher floor, so you're guaranteed more on the minimum, but he has a much lower ceiling. So with Spalletti, you can't dream big. You can't dream for second, third place. You probably can't dream for the title. So in comes the big shot. The big shot is Sarri, who, like our good friend Dio, I also believe is the best option. What's the problem with Sarri? Sarri is the big shot. He comes in and he demands a certain amount of certain players. He demands a certain pay. Oh, by the way, everyone, welcome everyone. Our good friend Emiliano, who has just joined us. When he'll be available, I'll put him in the stream. Sorry. So, what is it about Sarri? So he demands a sum of money. He demands certain players, and his style of play to really get going demands quite a bit of time. But with Sarri, that ceiling we're talking about with Spalletti is much higher. With Sarri, you can actually point with the players that they have already to, Champions League, maybe top 3, who knows? Because he is Sarri at the end of the day. He is a good manager. He's shown it. The next person that they have been, let's say, acquainted with is De Rossi. Daniele De Rossi has never actually managed a team. So he is what I define as the gamble. We don't know how he's going to be as a manager. And can I be honest, seeing how Pirlo is doing at Juve, I think it's too tough of a spot. The only thing that kind of changes my mind is the fact that the Fiorentina has less expectations than Juve. So he could be a really big surprise. And also, De Rossi has something about him. He has that charisma about him that could really make a difference. And the last but not least is our good friend Montella Vincenzino, who is the ex. So he's known in the place. He's already done stuff there. He's been okay. But he's quite wishy-washy. I don't think he would be that much of an upgrade from Prandelli. So real question is, what's up?
Yeah, no, I just want to intervene here. I think that if Montella, if they chose Montella, it would be like the same of Prandelli, taking someone which already knows, and it's not an upgrade. So that would be
it's
very, very bad for them.
Guys, look who's here.
Hello.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Emiliano. Hey, what's up?
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
We'll talk about the Inter win in a minute.
Amy.
After this, we'll talk about Inter.
Go ahead.
All right. What were you saying, Ricky? So you say that Montella wouldn't be an upgrade. I think Montella would be an absolute waste of money.
Yeah, you could just take him off there.
Yeah. But I think
the best manager, if we just say who the best manager is on this page, then it's of course Sarri.
Yeah.
He's one of the European level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Sarri also, you need to see how many players does he need to bring in. Because if you look at Fiorentina now, if you put them in a 4-3-3, Sarri's 4-3-3 with a deep line playmaker, you need to buy a lot of players because Fiorentina doesn't have wingers except Callejon, who doesn't play.
They have Callejon. Sarri were very.
Oh yeah, well, I guess. Well, you'd have to play with Callejon, Ribéry, and Vlahovic. Yeah, I guess. But then does Castrovilli fit into that? Is he really a Mezzala? Yeah, I guess he's not too bad there. You have Amrabat playing in front of the defense.
Don't worry, Jorginho's coming. If Sarri gets there, Jorginho's coming with him. They'll find a way.
That would be nice actually to see him back. No,
so
I think
Lucas, you're saying that Sarri would be the best one, but the problem with Sarri is that he brings he's like one of those, the really hot girl that you see, but just has so many problems, and you're like,
no, I don't think Sarri brings that many problems. I think if Fiore can say, Sarri, you can have 3 years, they're all yours. Just stay here and build a project. I think it would definitely go well.
Yeah, but that's the thing for me. Like, that's the problem with Sarri, is that he is a demanding manager. He demands that he's got to have certain players. He demands time. These are, I think, big things. Which I'm going to throw this ball to you guys. At that point, why would you not get Spalletti? Because Spalletti adapts. He's not a player. He's not someone. At least, Amy, I'd like to hear from you, because you had him as manager. He doesn't demand as much. He can adapt, and he will. He'll do what he can, and he's a bit more of a safe.
But as you said, the ceiling is higher, right? And at the moment, Fiore has nothing to lose, because they're not in a spot where you can say they're gonna lose. Like, they had Champions League, they had Europa League last year, and they're risking to not get it. No, that's not what's happening. And they're also not risking to get relegated, in my opinion. So they're gonna sit. They're fine. They have time. I think you can say, let's get a Sarri, let's build something over a couple of years, because there's no rush, right?
All right. What about Amy? You just came in, so I'll ask you: how do you evaluate these 4 options? Like, who do you think would be the best option? And maybe I want you guys as well. Do you guys want to try to give an argument for the gamble as well? It would be interesting. I don't think there is a way to do that, but Amy, do you want to give us a bit of a scope of what you think about these 4?
Yeah, I didn't really hear what you guys said before about this segment, but I think starting from the right, let's say, Montella, I don't think. If you're taking him, you're taking another sideways step. You're not really going up, you're not really going down. It's not I don't think it's what Fiorentina would want. It's just mediocrity, accepted mediocrity.
Yeah.
Then I think that's way big of a gamble, because I don't think he has any realistic coaching experience, and we know this year, looking at Juve, how that might not be the best decision.
Yeah.
Then Sarri, of course, I said last week about how Sarri has a bigger, higher ceiling. If they go, here's this amount of money, this is what you need to do. We want you to get Champions League within the next 3 years. I think he can do that. Maybe not top 4, but push for the top 6. I think he could definitely do that. That's Spalletti. I think the top, let's say the top 7 is too tight for a manager like him.
Amy, we're kind of losing you a bit. Amy, we're losing you a bit. You're a bit laggy.
He's a really good manager. I think he would be the perfect one to make the logical next step. But once you do that next step, you're stuck. You can't.
Yeah.
Push.
I agree that Spalletti. The thing about Spalletti is that I think Spalletti will bring you, let's say, the results you're looking for sooner. But he's more of like if there's a hole, you're kind of putting a plaster over it. You're not really rebuilding. I think, and how much time will it take for that plaster to just rip off? Ricky and Johnny, we haven't heard from you guys. Ricky, what do you think of these options?
Yeah, I've said it also many times when we discussed about this, that Sarri would be the best options. I've also mentioned it in the last episode here on Twitch, that I actually believe that probably if he takes Fiorentina in 2 to 3 years, he can manage to do the top 7 and qualify for Europa League, or at least try to make the team more competitive and help them reach an European level. And so I would definitely say Sarri, because from let's say a football fan point of view, Fiorentina is a team that has to compete. Also, if we look at it in the past, in its history, with players like Batistuta, Rui Costa, so they at least have to play in Europe.
All right, and then last but not least, Jonathan, quickly, what do you think about these? Who would you take and why?
So I'm going to be the controversial one here and say I really like Spalletti, so I'd take him. I was always a pretty big Spalletti fan. I think he's a really good coach, underrated. And I think he's what Fiorentina needs, which is an assurance. Someone who gets results. And also, I don't think he'd need as many changes as Sarri would. So I think he's the best choice.
Okay. And then, Amy, because you just came in, do you want to give us a very, very, very quick outlook on Inter Milan about their game?
Yeah, so basically, I think Parma played one of the best games in this season. We all know how they do against the Milan teams. They always bring out all they have, basically. But yeah, we did what we had to do. I was kind of worried in the first half because we couldn't score. And the last time we couldn't score was a 0-0 against Udinese, so there were some doubts creeping in. But then after we scored the first one, I knew we were going to take the win in the end. The goal from Hernani was really good, actually. So
yeah, I
props to them.
thought as well in the first half when I was watching the game that sorry, I'm just moving away from that. That Inter were really. It was not a matter of if they were going to score, but when. And a really decisive. Sanchez, I think, is finally stepping up as that second striker to be when Lautaro is not there. All right, Amy, we're getting to your favorite part of the show, which is the league standings. Obviously, take into consideration that Inter Milan won, but what's up with the table? And let's have a very quick description of it. Go for it.
Yeah, so these are obviously not updated as we made them before the Inter game, but basically we are now first at 59 points, not 56. And there's Milan second with 53, with their tie against Udinese. Juve staying
+6 now. That's a +6 difference now.
+6,
yeah. You guys are running off.
I think the Atalanta game this Monday is going to be very important to see in which direction the league. Because if we lose and you guys win, it gets very spicy again.
Yeah.
Then it's Juventus with 49 points. They have one game in hand, of course, against Napoli. Atalanta with 49, tied with Juventus. Roma with 47. Napoli with 43, of course, game in hand as well. Same with Lazio, 43 points. Then Hellas and Sassuolo swapping positions. So Hellas with 38, Sassuolo with 36. Of course, they didn't play against Torino, so we still need to see how they play.
Yeah.
Samp with 31 points. Then Udinese with that tie against Milan really helping them push off the very tight part of they're already +4 from the, let's say, tight part of the table. So they have 29 points now. And it's Bologna with 28. Then it's Genoa with 27. Really impressive because they were nowhere a month and a half ago, and then they just started climbing. And then we have 3 teams with 25 points. It's Fiorentina in 14th, Spezia in 15th. They swapped positions this last week.
Yep.
Benevento in 16th. And then we have the first swap in the bottom 4 in quite a while. Cagliari overtaking Torino with 21 points. Of course, Torino has 2 games in hand now because of the whole COVID
outbreak.
Yeah. And then it's Parma. It's not updated, but they stay at 15 points with a loss tonight. And then it's Crotone at 12, who has been there since God knows when.
Just a very quick comment. We were talking about it before. We mentioned it before. Look at Benevento now. We were hyping them up a couple weeks ago on our podcast, and look at them now. They are very close to, let's say, to the last spot there. Because if Torino win their 2 games in hand, then Torino fly off, and we're only 1 place away from the relegation spot. So that's I think the beauty of a relegation battle is this. From one day to another, you can be up there. And also, Fiorentina really need to start watching their back, because that conversation about the manager could start becoming a reality very quickly. Okay, we need to move because we are now 1:03 and we want to get some more stuff in. So the next thing we're going to do, as always, is our team of the week with you guys, the audience. So I'm going to share screen our creative formation as always, and we're going to all create a formation together. So first off, anybody got a nominee for the goalkeeper? I think that Handanovic save on the first half could be nominated, but I don't know.
Also, Szczesny, perhaps.
Szczesny, or what's his name? Silvestri. Should we say Szczesny?
Yeah.
Oh God, this
Szczesny
part
is incredible.
ZCZ. ZCZ.
it's the first one I said.
Yeah, guys, this is
Zed.
Arda classic.
S,
He's
S,
had to spell it
Z,
100 times.
Right.
C, Z. There we
Fire
go.
him.
Hey, Wojciech said it.
Fire
Right,
him.
okay, let's get okay. I'd say Palomino have a back for scoring.
Big
goals?
cow.
Yeah, I knew that was
Big cow, first one in there.
I was about to come here with a big cow mask, but I thought twice about it. So
Respect.
if no one knows,
for sure.
he's the captain of my fantasy team. That's why
Also,
I was
Big Al
going to
also had a
represent
really
him.
good game. Apart from a goal, he had a really good game as well. Like he was marking Rebic really well. Who Rebic I think should have got a red card for the absolute.
You know who I want up there, Arda? I said it. I said it
Acosta.
in the chat yesterday. No. Ferrari.
Ferrari. Oh
Even
yeah.
though I don't know.
You
Yeah.
want to tell him about what you told us in the chat?
No one spoke about it, but the goal, the penalty against Napoli, to get the penalty, Ferrari had a double nutmeg in the midfield, and then he runs across the whole pitch and gives it. It was insane.
Yeah, and then the last one I think has to be Acosta because his goal out in the derby was outstanding. All right, man. Middle of a park. I'd put Gozins in because he has to be there.
Yeah.
No, Gozins.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
He's incredible.
Gozins has better like timing, getting into the box and scoring than Leao. Honestly, like hands down, I think he has a better like inserimento, we'd say in Italian, than Leao. Because I saw a header Leao got anticipated in Udinese, Milan Udinese, whilst Gozins always like, especially against like Sampdoria, showed like his tempi inserimento are incredible. All right,
That's what makes him
I was
so good.
thinking if it's it's not a problem, but maybe we can move Zappacosta right mid and add Tonelli since I know it's a header, but you know he scored in the derby, so I made it
Acosta's
1-1.
goal was a banger. We have to put him in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
I don't-
one.
I
Put him in.
I'll put him as a special mention for now. We'll see how our mids are because I think
Yeah. It was
Tonelli's-
just also to say.
Tonelli's was a good header, but his game was an okay game. Like, I didn't see him do that well. I don't want to put Spinazzola for a goal, but he also scored an own goal, so he's not getting in there for now. But centre mids, do you guys have any ideas?
Hernani maybe. Hernani had a really.
I put someone from Juve. I put Chiesa from Juve just because he's
Yeah.
he's got that fino Latina motto in him. You just see that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this in the next episode
week.
about his grinta and passion. You know, that's very, very.
I think we will discuss whether he is a good acquisition in the end or not. But I think we're getting towards that. I think he's revealing himself as a good acquisition. But any other midfielders, guys? I want to mention Kessie for being one of the only Milan players that this weekend didn't give up on till the last minute. I like Veladzovic. Mentioned. I think someone from Verona has to be there. I think Ladzovic could be there, guys.
Ladzovic, yeah.
We have a nominee for Brozovic in the chat.
Amy, how did Brozovic play? Was he that good?
No, he was really good, but I think even because of the goal, Hernani was better. Like, I don't think Brozo. Yes, he was really good. Classic Brozo game where he just controls the midfield. I don't know if that grants him a place in the team of the week.
I think someone from Inter has to be there. Veve will be there. What's up?
I was going to give a special mention. We were once talking about having a one-to-watch segment now for players who are kind of shining in Serie A. One guy who's actually very underrated, I think, is Marin for Cagliari. I think he had an assist on Cagliari's goal. I think he took the corner. I don't know if he deserves to be in there because of just that assist. Either way, more of a special mention because I think he's been very good this year, but he doesn't make a lot of headlines. So,
he's always playing. He's a consistent player there in the midfield for Cagliari, and so we can. If you want, we can put him.
Maybe someone from Atalanta. We already have Gozins.
Yeah, I put Brozovic, guys. I think Inter. I was watching a bit of a game, and there's a couple of recuperi.
Yeah, we can get Brozovic in there.
All right, man. Up front, I think you have to put Sanchez because the brace today was incredible. You refilled them those big shoes. What's it called? The shoes by Lautaro Martinez. And then we need two more up front, guys. Who are we saying? I'd like to put Insigne because I think he was the only one in Napoli who really showed that grit as well, a bit like Chiesa.
Can I say Morata? Can I say him?
Morata.
Yeah, Morata.
He
Morata.
came
I
in,
agree with Morata.
scored first touch, fundamental for us.
I meant sorry. It's either Muriel or Ilicic. One of the two has to go in. I'd put Muriel just for Luca's sake, but Ilicic as well had a really good game. So I think that is it because we'll get to our last two segments of the day. That is our team of the week, both of you guys. We have some special mentions for Rugani for scoring his goal, and then for Berardi and Faraoni. There's so many players that could have gone in there, but this is our team of the week this week. And I'm going to go back to share screening our beautiful slides that we made. Before we go on, I'd like to mention as well that today, thank you, Ricky, for reminding me, was the anniversary of Davide Astori's death. We lost him 3 years ago, ex-Milan, Roma, Fiorentina player, and we really miss him. There was a very beautiful letter by Saponara that Luca emailed. He messaged us with this week, and honestly, if you guys get to read it and you speak Italian, it's an absolute tearjerker. And anything. Yeah. So, team of the week. And then we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Start Bench Sell with you guys. So, Start Bench Sell this week, we got a newer version. You might see that Luca has been fucking around with our slides and put Gianluca Lapadula. But we're talking about defensive box-to-box.
I did no such thing.
We have.
I didn't know.
You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to say anything.
Lapadula.
No one was going to notice.
Anyway,
I didn't know Lapadula was included. Otherwise, I would have started him just for clarity.
Barella, Milinkovic-Savic, and Kessie arguably the three best in those position in Italy. So now we're going to argue who's the best to start, who's the best to bench, and who are you willing to sell out of free. So we'll see that Luca and I both put at least a player with a Milan shirt. And the other three put...
No, wait. That's not correct, though. Oh, did I want Kessie to start? No, I want Kessie on the bench.
Well, you put
yeah, but I wanted...
if you want to do like that,
right,
you have to accept the consequences.
But I lost her. Yeah, I got screwed over.
Okay. Well, I'm the only one who starts Kessie. I don't know why, but Kessie, I think it's because I'm obviously very biased about this, but for me, Kessie is an incredible player, and he's been really showing the fruit of his labor in these this year in comparison to the other years. He's been crucial for Milan, and I just like him more on the pitch. I find he's very unlikable to other opposition teams, but I think he's still less unlikable than Barella because I just don't like Barella as a player. I still have to obviously, get my hat off to Barella, who is an incredible player, the future of the Italian midfield. He is a really good player. I just don't like his attitude in general. But apart from that, I think we're basically on an equal level. I just wanted to be a bit different and put Kessie there. But guys, let's just hear a comment first let's hear it from Jonathan. Jonathan, a comment about Barella.
I really like him. He's a complete player, very all around. He proves that he can shoot. He tackles a lot. He's like he's one of those classic box to box players you remember. I think there used to be a lot more good box to boxes, like a few years ago when it was a little more common in football. And now it's a lot more about you have defensive midfielders and then more offensive ones. And I think Barella interprets the role perfectly and is worth a lot to Inter. They really have to hold on to him.
And then let's hear yours, Amy. I know you're a very big fan of him and you're also an Inter Milan fan. Tell us how important he is for Inter Milan and also for Italy. What you guys think? Sorry.
I've said this before. I think Barella is the best midfielder in Serie A. He's definitely the most complete in my opinion because Milinkovic, maybe he has more skill maybe with the ball, with his head going forward, but Barella is more complete in my opinion. So that's why I'm going to start him.
What about you, Luca? Even as a Milan fan, you put Barella there. What's up? How come you put Barella?
Barella starting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that I'm actually going to say the opposite to Amy. I think Milinkovic is more complete all around because I think when you add the physical factor as well, him being so big, being able to head the ball, and he's also very good both defensively and offensively. I think he's more complete, but I think Barella, if we just look at this season, he's been better overall, and he has been the best midfielder in the league. Kessie is also a wonderful player, and I really like him, but I don't know if he's quite up to that level. I think, of course, he's a great penalty taker. He's the best penalty taker out of these three. But, I think if you look at those three, even in Milan's current team, I think I would sell Kessie.
You would sell Kessie. Okay, and then we'll move on to a more interesting part of this.
I totally changed up my format. Sorry about that for the continuity, but yeah.
Fine, it's fine. Okay, we'll move on. Yeah, what's up?
Just want to say a quick thing about Barella, and then guys, let me know what you think. When I see him play this year, he kind of remembers me of Vidal when he was at Juve in 2012, 2013, that period there. Intensity, quality, being everywhere on the field.
Yeah.
As a football player, Luca, as a football player.
No, also on the pitch, I think Vidal is a bit more dangerous. But
but you know, as being everywhere on the pitch, scoring goals, the intensity he puts in the game.
Yeah, I agree.
So, okay, cool.
I think it's a good comparison.
Right. Okay, and then we'll move on to the second part, which is now a bit different for everyone else. But Amy and Jonathan both said that they'd rather bench Milinkovic over Kessie. So that means that they prefer Milinkovic to Kessie. How come is that? How come you, Amy?
Yes. I can tell you. Basically, I think Milinkovic is just a better player than Kessie, and that's all there is to it.
What is it that convinces you more? Is it his physicality? Is it
technically he's a better player. Physically, he's he wins every header. He literally wins every header. His hold-up play is good. For Lazio, you can always pass the ball to him. You can trust him not to lose it and do something useful with it. Kessie's a different kind of player. He's a lot more explosive. He's a lot quicker. Milinkovic is pretty slow. And Kessie is really quick. But I just think, technically, Milinkovic is levels above this guy. So I can't... Yeah, that's all there is to it.
And for me, it's more or less. I think Kessie is better than Milinkovic, only at getting the ball back. Like if there's a counter, maybe like you need someone to get a tackle and build a play again. I think Kessie is better, but everywhere else, Milinkovic is better. I think Milinkovic even has better feet than Barella, so I think that's why he's above Kessie.
Yeah, I actually agree with you guys. I've benched Kessie and put Milinkovic as to sell him. Maybe this is not the best, but I've also considered in this case a bit the factor of the money and you will get from selling. But we lost Arda. Anyway,
we haven't planned for this. We are not
this is unexpected. Guys,
because we also lost the slides.
Exactly.
We also lost the slides, so we can't go on with the.
Well, does anyone in the chat have anything to say? Do we want to start a nice discussion? How's the weather, guys?
Maybe cold, in the chat
bro.
You can.
It's so cold.
You can tell us what you think about.
Wait, actually, guys, I have a new segment. I have a new segment. Wait. It's called Luca's Jersey Collection. So,
we
have a new edition.
This is all improvised.
Messi's El Clasico jersey. Wow. Very impressive.
No.
Just got it. Oh, you're interrupting my segment. We have a very special one.
I leave you guys for 2 seconds.
Carpi.
Jesus Christ.
It's pure anarchy. As soon as Arda left.
No. Okay, we're back. Sorry, Amy, please. You were talking about Milinkovic, Kessie, please. Because guys, we're nearly out of time. Come on. What's up?
I think I left it.
Arda, we missed a subscriber.
We missed a subscriber. Hoff00, thank you for subscribing to.
I wonder who that is.
Ooh. Anyway, come on, let's get to this, guys. We only got like 12 minutes left. Come on.
Right, Sam, your turn.
Yeah, I was just finishing off saying that I consider the minimum also of the profits you would get from selling Milinkovic instead of Kessie. But I agree with Johnny and Amy's analysis that Milinkovic is better technically than Kessie, but Kessie is such an important player to have there in the midfield. He's present, and so also I think he's a player important for the squad, both on being present in the field, but also from a tactical point of view, and the penalties, as we saw against Udinese, he showed up, and he's a bit more experienced perhaps than Milinkovic.
All right, man. My part is just this. I think, and Luca, you'll say yours as well. I think Barella is just superior to Milinkovic as well, and I think he's younger as well. But then we'll get to the last part, because then we want to get to our prediction segment, guys. Che sì, Mulijovic in questo momento, Milinkovic. Yeah, I personally believe that as well. Samuel, in questo momento secondo me pure che sì è superiore a Milinkovic. All right, we'll get on to the last one. I think it should be a segment in every episode. Yeah, KK old. We actually have this every single episode. We're gonna have this.
No. He's talking about Luca's jersey collection. He's not talking about.
Wow.
I started a poll in the chat, seeing if they wanted to return.
You're actually the worst. Okay, then we'll just say that the last part. Why would you guys sell Milinkovic, Luca? Why? How come is it that you'd sell Milinkovic?
I ended up changing up. I ended up saying that Kessie should be sold, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, you changed up. All right, let's just get.
Either way, honestly, I'm very open. I'm very open about this situation. I think all three of them are great. I think if you start either one of them, you're well off, and if you sell either one of them, you're well off. So.
By the way, we have the same amount of viewers basically as Italian Football TV guys who are live right now, who we're going to rate in a minute, but which will give us a bit of attention. We'll get to the last segment of our show, which is predictions. Every week, our hosts and viewers will be invited to predict the coming week's Serie A results. Predictions will be recorded and points will be assigned based on the accuracy. So we'll do this very quickly because I want to finish in 9 minutes. But last week, sorry, Luca, actually, you go for it because you're the prediction man. Go for it.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. So for predictions, we ended up not being able to get through our predictions on Lazio Torino. Actually, I'm not going to go through everything. Simply enough, Arda was the best this week, was 7.
Which is
which is already incredible. Ricky and I both had 6. Johnny had 5 and Amy had 4. Then I don't know if we add Inter's results. It's a bit different, but that's more or less the gist of things.
Yeah, I think we all get 1 point. No one predicted a 2-1.
Yeah, no one predicted a 2-1. Yeah, I think we all get 1 point, which will still make me first. All right, man. This is how we look on the leaderboard. Luca, if you want to quickly say it.
Yeah, I'm still first, 103. John Lee is second, 99. Amy and Sampi tied with 83, and Arda last with 76, but catching up a bit at least.
Yep. All right, man. We'll get to the predictions for this week, game week 26. These are predictions. Apparently, Ricky did not do them. Ricky, if you do them while we're presenting in presentation mode, in the meantime, you can.
I'll try my best because I always do them beforehand, and anyway, I just go for it.
In the meantime, what we can see, which is special. Sorry for my big mouse here, but we can see that both me, Jonathan, and Amy all said that Spezia would win against Benevento, but Luca said that they would draw. Then Udinese against Sassuolo. I predicted a draw, but then Amy predicted a Sassuolo win. Jonathan predicted the Udinese win, and the Sassuolo win is also predicted by Luca. That could be a snooze fest. The Juve-Lazio game was a bit of a consensus. We all predicted Juve to win, apart from Sampi, whose predictions we'll see in a minute. The Genoa-Roma game is a bit of an easy one. I think we all said that they would win. Torino, we wrote against Crotone. We all say that Torino win, apart from Sampi, who we'll see. Fiorentina Parma could be an interesting one. So Luca said 0-0. I said 4-1.
I think it'll be a terrible match.
It'll probably be a terrible game, but we all predicted a win, apart from Luca predicting a 0-0. And then Hellas Verona Milan could be one of the most interesting games of the weekend, apart from the other two that we're going to see, which are Juve Lazio and Inter Atalanta. So Hellas Verona Milan, Luca predicted actually a Milan win, and so is Emiliano. But yet Johnny and I both predict a draw, and I personally believe it will be a draw, especially with all the absences we have. Sampdoria Cagliari, a draw predicted by both Luca and I, but then a Cagliari win is predicted by Jonathan, whilst Amy predicts a Sampdoria win, which could be interesting, especially with Cagliari in such good form with new coach Semplici. Then last but not last, but the second last, we got Napoli against Bologna. Most of us predicted a Napoli win, just depends by how much. And the last game of weekend, Inter against Atalanta. We all predicted an Inter win, apart from Emiliano, who's predicting a 2-2 draw. Sampi, did you finish your predictions?
Yeah, they're quite rushed, so maybe it won't be my best round, but I'll just go for it.
Okay, are we uploaded now?
Incoming 30 points for Sampi.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, sorry. I wrote it on my phone. We'll add them there. I'll just
Anyway,
tell
we'll
them.
add them. Let's add them later.
Just tell us if there's anything really controversial, like something really cool.
I mean, I'm just gonna tell them real quick. For Spezia Benevento, I went 2-1 for Spezia. Udinese Sassuolo, I'm gonna go 1-3. Juve Lazio, as I said before at the start, I'll be fine with a 1-0. What really counts is just a win. Then Roma Genoa, I'm gonna say 2-0. Crotone Torino, I'm gonna go with a 1-0. No, actually 1-2. Torino to win because they might be since not playing 2 games rested, but there's the COVID situation, so we'll see. Fiore Parma, I'm gonna go with a 1-0. Then Verona Milan, I'm gonna go with 2-2. Samp Cagliari 2-1 for Samp. Then Napoli Bologna, I think it will be Napoli will win. I'm gonna say 2-0. And then Inter Atalanta, honestly, I'm gonna say 3-1.
Yeah, Inter is winning the title on Sunday or Monday, whenever that game is.
Yeah. Also, Luca's prediction, the little gamble he made, is still going on about Inter not ever losing. Okay, till the end of the day. Okay, we're finished off our episode. We are now at 1 hour 26. So we're basically at the end. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. We'd like to thank everyone from the panel here and Radio Rossonera for allowing us to be here. You guys are always awesome. Check out our episodes. We're going to come with a couple guests, which are going to be amazing. Before we finish off, as we mentioned before, Davide Astori's death. It's his anniversary, so we'd like to send a little prayer out to his family and to him, wherever he may be. What an incredible example of a player and an incredible person in general, from what his teammates have always said. Apart from that, guys, as always, it's been the Catenaccio Podcast team. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm trying to raid Italian Football TV, but it's not allowing me to. Anyway, we have the same amount of viewers, by the way, as Italian Football TV, so congrats to us, or not congrats to them. Before we leave, I'd like to thank the panel that has been with me tonight, as always. Starting off with Jonathan Kunze-Koncevitz.
Thank you, guys, for coming.
And then Luca Hofmeister.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Hopefully you enjoyed. And get ready for the big episodes coming up with some nice special guests.
Yep. And then Ricky.
Yeah. Ciao tutti. Thanks for watching.
And then Amy.
Only joined for half, but I hope you enjoyed. See you next time.
Okay. Everyone, if you can go on to Italian Football TVs and write in the comments, Radio Rossonera sends us. That will be an absolute...
No, say Catenaccio Podcast.
Yeah, Catenaccio Podcast send you. Apart from that, I've been your host for today, Alessandro Ardo Oriani. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure being with you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. And thank you, as always, for all the support. Leave us a follow, subscribe, do whatever you want, share with your mom, whatever you want. Bye.
See you guys.